Yo, welcome to another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sap. And today, man, we got one of them shows for you today. But when you come across the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you share the video out. Make sure you got your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball Dropping drops another hot banger. This, if it's your first time coming across the channel, please like the video, share it out, and make sure you subscribe. On this channel, we cover sports, hot topics, roundtable talk, and the marriage chronicles. I see everybody in the comment section, #salute. And you know what my mantra is. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. Well, today's show, man, we got to talk about these Los Angeles Clippers, man. We got to talk about James Harden. And ever since he's been traded to the LA Clippers, the LA Clippers are 0-4. Now, today's game, I saw some body language from some of them Clippers like they want to be out, especially the body language from Kawhi Leonard. You know, coming up at the end of the season, these guys are free agents, and they can look to sign a long-term deal. But if things don't get turned around real quick, Kawhi is going to want out. He is going to want out. I looked at his body language on the bench after you lose to one of the worst teams in the NBA, in the Memphis Grizzlies. At home, you lose 105-101. Now, in the press conferences after these games, Tyronn Lue has stated that it's going to take a minute, but I've always said Tyronn Lue would probably be one of the guys that could coach this team and get things turned around. But at this point, these 4 games that James Harden has played in, this team looks awful. I mean, the spacing on the court is not there. I mean, it's like, give the ball to James Harden, you do your thing. Give the ball to Russ, you do your thing. PG and Kawhi are not getting to the spots on the floor where they want the ball, where they can operate before James Harden came to the Clippers. You know, you sent off guys in that trade, that guys that was your glue guys, your defenders. James Harden don't play no defense. Nicholas Batum was the one that playing the defense. Then you had Robert Covington coming in the game. He was a 3-and-D guy. You don't have none of that. I understand that Terrence Mann is just now, getting back into the swing of things because of the injury. But starting these guys at all with James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Zubac, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard, that starting lineup is almost like to appease the team, to appease the players. But Lue has always said you have to sacrifice. I don't think these guys are willing to sacrifice now because I think it's an ego thing. Now, you know the story on Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook was ran out of the Lakers organization. The Clippers picked him up after he was bought out by Utah. That was a great fit for the Clippers. They played well. He was flourishing in his role. He knew what his role was. But now it's got to be a sacrifice. Which one goes to the bench? Is that James Harden or is that Russell Westbrook to get this offense going? Somebody got to sacrifice. And me personally, I think that Russell Westbrook has to be the starter. James Harden has to sacrifice to come off the bench. You know what James Harden has said? He's not a system guy. He is the system. But their spacing on the floor, like Tyronn Lue has alluded to, it's terrible. And the body language with some of them players today, especially Kawhi Leonard, that spoke volumes. I think Kawhi is getting frustrated. You know, Kawhi is not going to come out and say anything because he's not that type of person. But I think he's frustrated. He's frustrated what's going on with the Clippers organization. Paul George, you vouched for James Harden. I guess Kawhi had to sign off on it too. I mean, it all looks good on paper, but you have to go out there and execute. I just don't think their execution in these 4 games has been what it's supposed to be. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George was actually balling before James Harden got to that roster. Westbrook knew what his role was. He knew what he was supposed to do. But now you bring an all-star and James Harden into the fray and things get discombobulated. I don't even know what kind of offense that they're running, but I've always said if somebody could coach that unit, it would be T. Lue, because T. Lue knows how to make the adjustments and he knows how to get things started. But right now, it's not working out well. I see the frustration on a lot of guys. Even when James Harden, before he played and came into the locker room, Russell Westbrook was the only one that greeted him. I saw the look on Terrence Mann's face when he was sitting in that chair and he looking up like, oh my. So Terrence Mann was probably, what kind of role do I got on the team now? I think the morale of the team is down. And Friday night was very indicative of that. After they lost to the Dallas Mavericks, the Dallas Mavericks announcer was saying a lot of things. And through the course of the game, he was saying that we don't know if this is going to work because of the style of play that Harden plays. Now, the Dallas Mavericks announcer, he got into James Harden's ass. Listen to what the Dallas Mavericks announcer said after the game on their pregame, on their postgame report. This is what the Dallas Mavericks announcer said. Take a listen to this.
The Clippers locker room. If I can talk to you, James, I hope you're taking notes. I'm telling you in advance, you're welcome for the wisdom I'm about to spew. Because listen, I get on my knees every night and pray for someone to believe in me like Daryl Morey believed in you. You wanted a certain coach, they brought in Mike D'Antoni. You want to play a certain style, they played it. You wanted Dwight Howard, they brought him in and got rid of him when you were tired of him. You wanted Chris Paul, they brought him in and got rid of him when you were tired of him. They brought in your old friend Russell Westbrook. You want to go to Vegas on off days? They looked away. You wanted the team to stay over so you could go out at night. They changed the schedule, and it didn't work. And you know what? You said, I'm going to break up with my whoopee. Not good enough. I see the bright lights in New York. I want to go there. My old pal, Kevin Durant. It's going to work. The big three. And all after 1 year, you wanted out. You realized, oh my gosh, I took this guy for granted, the guy that believed in me. I went back with Daryl Morey. They traded Ben Simmons for you. How did they pull that off? And you know what? You went there and you got a partner who got the MVP. He won the MVP. And what did you say afterwards? You said, they didn't hand me the reins. You're the point guard. You were holding the reins. And what did you do when you had the reins? You scored 9 points in Game 7 against Boston. You blew a 3-2 series lead. So they fired their coach. Not good enough. You broke up with your guy, believed in you again. You said, the bright lights of L.A., that's where I want to go. Let's see if that works. Listen, James, have you ever had those friends who had bad roommates? Over and over, they complained about their bad roommates. This guy's terrible. The bad roommate here. They never thought to be self-aware enough that they're the bad roommate. They're the problem. Hey, James, you're the problem. If this doesn't work this year in this system with this team, then you're going to go and point fingers at everybody else, and you're going to go back home and you're going to start swiping right for another team, and there's not going to be anybody left. Because, James, you're not the beard, you're not the system, you're the problem.
Wow. Now, you heard what Brian Damaris said, the Mavs color coordinator, color analyst, on his post-game speech. This is what he had to say about James Harden. When you have an announcer, a color analyst, say them type of things about an all-star player on what he brings to the table, it speaks volumes. Now, basically what he was saying is, every team that you've been on besides the Oklahoma City Thunders when you first came into the league, you performed well because you was young. But now everywhere you went, Houston, it was a problem. Brooklyn, it was a problem. The Clippers, it's a problem. Philadelphia was a problem. You made so many excuses that you are not a system player. You are the system. Now you come to a LA Clippers team that has aspirations of a championship, and the things that are going on in these first 4 games since you've been inserted into their unit is awful. I don't know if James Harden's career might be done from a standpoint of a guy that's going to get you over the hump. But right now, it sure does look like it. So you guys let me know what y'all think down in the comments section. Keep liking the video. Keep giving it a thumbs up. Keep sharing it out. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
Another one.